Thank you, Bill, and thank you for what you and the team do at 60 Minutes every week. I often say, whenever I get the chance, that I'm a loyal viewer of 60 Minutes and of so much of the work that we all do in this room across the networks. Thank you for the honor. I'm humbled to be here today, and I just want to point out my incredible ABC News colleagues who are here. Thank you. Deborah O'Connell, of course, the president of the ABC News Group and Media Networks, saving the world out there, the media world. Almin Kermik-Medovic, the president of ABC News and a very good friend, and everybody here at the table. Chris Dinan, who's the executive producer of World News Tonight now, who's been with me, I joked earlier, for 122 years, right from the weekend news. And all of these young guns at the table, these producers who help to get World News on the air every night. Young-ish. You're aging rapidly. The first line of the broadcast tonight, good evening, I'm a giant. Get ready. I'm not going to be able to get through the room. Actually, truth be told, I hardly feel like a giant standing up here today. I'm humbled. I appreciate the honor, but I'm more comfortable actually thinking about the junior intern at 13, 14 years old. I'm from Syracuse, New York, and oh, thank you. Yeah, a survivor too. Yeah. The winters, beautiful summers, but you wait about 8 months for them. I wrote to the local reporters and anchors at the TV station, WTVH, the CBS station in town, and they made the mistake of writing back to me, and I never let go. And I began interning at the station, 13, 14 years old, carrying the equipment back when it was legit equipment, you know, those tripods, and I'd be back in the cruiser, the back seat, no matter what the story was. And I began going in on all of my school breaks and my summer vacations, and they would march me right up to the newsroom wall, and they would mark off how much I had grown since the last break. And then they would measure how many octaves my voice had fallen. So thank you for the hazing. And thank God it did, because I wouldn't be here today. I look around the room here today, and I'm buoyed by the fact that we're all in this industry, and we're blessed to be in the industry because we're always learning. So I think about that kid, and I think, I'm still learning today. So to be up here for an award like this, again, is quite humbling. There have been, and I'll share just a couple of them with you, so many turning points in this career, and I'm sure you can relate to this, where it sort of crystallizes what it is we're doing and the purposeful job we all set out to do. It was, I've been at ABC now 22, 23 years almost, and one of the first major assignments was to go down and cover Katrina in New Orleans. I was in the Superdome as this hurricane was moving in. I think we slept on the concrete floors, watched as these families brought their belongings in their plastic garbage bags, and the roof ripping off the Superdome, and the pounding rain coming in. And then they were told to go over to the convention center, if you recall, where help would be waiting for them. And I remember we rode over in the rental car, this tiny little rental car, to check on the people at the convention center. And as we began to drive by, you could hear the screams before we even got there. And we rolled down the window, and our cameras were trained on those faces, those mothers crying out, "We need help." And I remember in that moment, I wanted to slide right down into my chair so they couldn't see me. It felt like such an invasion of their privacy. But of course, we got out, we talked to them, most importantly, we listened to them, and they snaked me through the convention center where we saw the ketchup packets that they found in the kitchen in the back of the convention center so that they would have something to eat and to give to diabetics who were there to try to get through another day. And it was within a day or two that we saw that massive federal response that was late, but finally got there. And for me, that was a turning point moment where you recognize that giving a voice to people in desperate need does make a difference, and how lucky we are to offer that to people who are desperate for their stories to be told. I get asked very often, how do I shake it? So much of what we see, this heaviness that we're all witnessing in this particular moment. And I think about all of the stories and all of the travels, you know, Iraq, Afghanistan, South Sudan, and I can see the faces right now of the people I've met, you know, on the Syrian border, the child refugees who were picking potatoes, digging them up in the fields for 7, 8 hours, and then their joyful faces racing to the UNICEF school for a chance to go to class. And it just puts things in perspective. We went to an orphanage where they had Syrian refugees, and this little boy, and I can picture him today with his little jersey, number 9 on it, and he literally wanted to be lifted up, literally, just his arms in the air. And I thought, there's no other answer to this other than to lift this little guy up and carry him around. It wasn't really in the story, but I carried him around for much of that shoot. And I also carry around with me on my phone a picture of this little boy and a picture of all of these people I meet along the way. I purposely, when I upload to the cloud, I keep it on the phone because I go through it from time to time. And it's a powerful reminder of all the people that we meet along the way who we try to help, but we get their stories out there, and it reminds you that it's important to go back and check in on them. I think about today the young people who are coming up, and they often ask, how will I break through, the noise? And we know what we mean when we say noise. And I try to encourage them to keep their heads down and just do the work. There's a lot of pressure out there to brand yourself, to market yourself in some way on social media. But I always say to them, your work will speak louder than anything it is you do on social media. And I really do believe that. And one other thing I tell them often is do not underestimate the audience. Don't underestimate the audience, the viewers, the readers. Many of them who are turning in can cut right through it. They see what's going on. They're looking for teams who are calm and steady and truth-based, and they're counting on that. And one other thing is they can also see exactly who it is you are. The loudest voices right now in our culture are usually at one end of the spectrum or the other. But as you know in this room, and I know from traveling the country so often on these Made in America stories and America Strong stories, is that the vast majority of Americans are somewhere right here. They're not here, they're not here, they're here. They care about their neighbors, they care about the business trying to make something in America down the street, and they can tell when they watch and when they read and when they watch a particular journalist, they can tell the ones who truly care about people. You can't fake it. So I would just encourage everyone in this room to keep caring, because people are counting on us right now. And let me just say, the word giant, I joke at the beginning here that that's how I'll start the broadcast tonight. I really don't feel like a giant. I'm not a giant, and I think all the honorees in this room today, if I can speak for them, recognize that you're not really a giant. The only reason I'm standing here and the other honorees will be standing here is because we're on the shoulders of the people who opened the doors for us. The doors of that TV station when I was 13 years old, they answered the letter, they opened the door for me. So let me just say, in thanking you all for giving me any time up here on the stage today, let's all just look behind us a little bit more and make sure we're reaching out to the young people who are on their way, because we need the young leaders, the young journalists of tomorrow more now than ever. So thank you so much. Thank you.